Hi guys, just thought we'd do a little video after our trip to Berlin for New Year. There's a couple of bits that we thought we'd bring up to you. We went over for the New Year and it's tips and tricks and stuff that the guidebooks do not tell you. So I'm going to condense it down to several parts and go through them one by one for you, because some of this is stuff that really will make a trip that bit more pleasurable an experience. So obviously, first of all, if you're flying into Berlin Schönefeld, you're going to want to get a ticket when you get to the airport. There's a couple of options you've got. If you're staying for about 5-7 days, which is what we did, if you go into Terminal A, they've got ticket machines on arrival. You can buy a ticket in there for 7 days that covers all the zones A, B and C, right the way out through to the airport for €37.5. Or if you go over to where the main train station is, the S-Bahn, they do a 5-day ticket for A, B and C zones, and that's also $37.50. Don't know why there's a difference in price. No difference in price, but there's a difference in ticket. I'm not sure, but they're all there. But once you've got this ticket, ticket covers you for the whole of Berlin, for all of the transport, so the buses, the trams, the U-Bahn, the S-Bahn, underground, overground, all the way through. There is one thing: don't take a €50 note. If you've got them, get them changed, because they will not be accepted by the machines. Once you've got access to that, you do not need the ticket again. You can put it in your wallet because they only spot check it. Duration of the 5 days that we had in Berlin, we didn't get our tickets checked once. But if I'm hearing right, then there's a large fine that goes along with it. So if you haven't, so keep it in your wallet and you won't need it throughout the duration. So once you guys have got your tickets, the transport links all over Berlin are fantastic. They will get you to pretty much everywhere you need to go. But as always, there's always a little sneaky way of getting around or easier way of doing things. So if you happen to be staying somewhere near a U station, then there's an easier way to get around. If you're staying near an S station, there's another way to go around that. So I'll go through both of the parts and pieces, and hopefully this will help you and get you around the system a little bit quicker than it did for me for my first day in Berlin. So if you're staying near a U station, the best option, and it runs 24 hours a day, is from outside of the main Terminal A where you may have bought your ticket. So you get on the X7 bus to the Redau station. It takes about 10 minutes. That gets you on the U network, and that runs 24 hours a day. So if you're a late flight in, then that's probably the easiest way to get around the city at that time. If you're on an S, take the short walk across from the arrival terminals all the way down to the S station. There is the 5 and 7 and 47 and 45. There's numerous going out of that direction. However, they don't run 24 hours a day. So if you are on a late flight, you may well have to compromise and use the U system as opposed to using the S system. One word of caution: there is an awful lot of stairs around on the S-Bahn, U-Bahn, whether you're going up or down. Not every station does have a lift, so it's something to bear in mind. But yeah, you will get an awful lot of walking up and down stairs for most of the train stations and platforms. Hopefully that should help for you all the way around. In a moment, we'll cover all of the bits that we did for the New Year's Eve celebration. Part of the reason why we decided to put this video up. New Year's Eve at the Brandenburg Gate Tiergarten. Well, like I say, it's one massive free party. It's the whole reason the city gets around the Tiergarten at the New Year's party is just phenomenal. The gates open at 2 o'clock, and the best way to get into it is round from where the Jewish Memorial is, just round the corner from the Brandenburg Gate. They won't let you in from the front as they would do normally during the rest of the year. We recommend, potentially, if you can come to between 5 and 7 o'clock at night. That's probably the easiest way to get in. You can come in much later. We saw a lot of people coming in from about all the way up to about as late as 10 o'clock. But you have to come in from the far end of the park. So in the middle entrance, there's a way in to get in there. But the biggest thing of all that we weren't aware of, from which was in the guidebooks, they said maybe you can, maybe you can't, is do not bring bags. The security checks just will not let you take them in. So any form of string bag, rucksacks, women's purses with 2 straps, they won't allow you to bring any of them in. If you do need to bring a bag or you can't leave one behind, there are some lockers. We were told about some lockers that are about 10 minutes away. If you walk down all the way from the Brandenburg Gate, all the way back down to a place called Potsdamer Platz, there's a mainline train station, a DB station. They've got lockers. There's a small locker, it's €3, and you get 72 hours. So you don't have to rush back afterwards to go and get your bag. You can come and get it the following day. There's a lot less. They do a large locker as well. That's €5 for the same amount of time. But it's certainly worthwhile remembering, don't bring a bag. Put everything in your pockets you're going to need for the entire night. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, once inside the park, there are plenty of things to see and do and have a look around. There's plenty of food, there's plenty of drinks, and to be honest, I expected it to be dearer than it was. It's very reasonably priced. There are plenty of toilets inside as well. It only costs 50 cents. Now you think, oh, I shouldn't be paying for a toilet, but you know what? They are absolutely impeccably clean. There was hand sanitizer, fresh toilet oil, toilet paper available. It's really worth the 50 cents to have somewhere to go and it not be your typical festival type experience. The only thing on the inside of the park, there is no seating anywhere. There are no park benches, there are no tables put out, there is nothing. We did find one tiny little bit of wall to perch on, but yeah, you couldn't sit there for any long period of time. It is worth maybe for a 5 or 10 minute period of time, obviously if it's not wet or as such. But yeah, it's okay, but if you're going to be in the park for any length of time, it certainly is something to bear in mind, which is why I say go in a little bit later or even later from the middle entrance. The atmosphere, it is phenomenal. The party starts pretty much at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. There's rehearsals going on, and then at about 7 o'clock the main show starts. So if you want to be up near the front, by all means do, but as I say, it's really safe for kids. There was a really good atmosphere all the way through the park. The only thing to bear in mind, there's not a lot of places to go and not a lot of places to sit for the younger ones, so it can be quite a long while waiting for 12 o'clock. When you get to 12 o'clock, it just goes absolutely nuts. It really does. When you're actually in the park, if you look over to your right hand side, that's where the fireworks are, over the top of the trees in the main park, and it's a phenomenal display, and the atmosphere, everybody just having a good time. And that's when the party starts. You think it'd start beforehand, but no, after midnight it goes on, and it goes on all night. I probably think 2 or 3 in the morning it's probably still going on. The other thing, if you want to come out of the park afterwards, and it's fairly late on, just one word of caution. They do have a tendency to light fireworks randomly all over. It's not the safest thing I've ever seen, but it does seem to be really well policed and marshalled by fire and policemen, but they're just letting fireworks off in the street. It's quite a phenomenal sight. It's probably almost as thrilling as being in the park. And that goes on all the way into the night. We got back at 2 in the morning and it was still going on in the local area. So it's not just local to that area, it's all over the city. So that's our review of Berlin for New Year's Eve. A few tips and tricks thrown in as well. Hope you enjoy it and catch you again soon. Bye.